Hey everyone, so in this video I'm just going to do a quick wax up, a digital wax up. This case is not a patient of mine, but it's a friend online. She was doing this as a charity case, and she was just asking around, on options and how to get this 3D edited so that she could do sort of an injection molding technique to do bonding in the anterior. To help this kid out that's post-ortho. So yeah, I'm just making a quick video here in BlueSkyPlan to show you how to do this. I've made videos in the same subject before, but why not post a new one? Maybe a little updated. I don't know if it'll have much difference in how I approach it, but we'll go ahead and roll with it. So first things first, let's just go ahead and bring in these models. We'll just go in the model master first, and let's click this, and then where are those files going to be? I wish I could pause this recording, but I can't. Oh yeah, date modified. Oh, of course I can't sort by that. It is, yeah, it's going to be these two right here. All right. Okay, so this is going to open these two up, and we might get out of the model editing module in a little bit, but for now, let's continue. Let's just roll with this. So let's go ahead and align these up. Don't know what these are taking. These are obviously taking, looks like an alginate impression, and that was then digitally scanned, maybe with, sorry, this little recording window is in my way. I believe we got a mark right here, and then. Anyway, I think they were probably taken with alginate and then digitally impressed. Here's this. Let's go ahead and continue, because now we can optimize this a little bit. Just going to move this over a little bit. I feel like there's a bit of a cant. It's hard to tell based on the posterior teeth and the canines and everything like that, but I suspect it's not quite like that. That's good enough. So here we are along the midline. I can see everything pretty well. Let's go ahead and just look from below for a moment here. And let's make sure that our first molars, they're pretty well aligned. This isn't that important, honestly, but all right, let's go ahead and finish that. And we are good to start doing a wax up here. I think that the easiest way to do this is in the denture module. Because we can bring in all 4 teeth. We're going to be doing the front and the upper front incisors. So let's just jump right into that. Denture. And so now I can say, okay, well, here are the teeth that I want to add. I'm going to pick the teeth. I apologize, my resolution is so funky right now on my laptop. It's very high resolution, but it affects this. So that kind of stinks, because I'm going to change. It would really be nice to be able to see what they look like. I know the libraries pretty well, but you can just kind of look through and see which one makes sense for this patient aesthetically. And yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the Mitch Hurst ones. I don't think this changes much. Actually, let's try those. Let's change them to large, and let's select I'm told the shift button, and you see how the lateral incisor is bright red as opposed to the light red. That means that's the one I need to position. And the large, hold the shift button, click there. And the large may have been too big. It is. Oh well, we can dial it down quite a bit. So we're going to go ahead and scale these down now. Yeah, that's fine. As I say, I could always go back in and just reselect them at a different scale. And I'm going to go ahead and hide the lower. I don't need this right now. So we'll toggle it to transparent for now. I can always make it disappear completely in a moment. Down here is our little alignment jig. I can kind of click wherever I want. How I want to center this again. Really should have messed with my resolution on my computer to make this a little bit easier. I apologize. But let's go ahead and move this over. Let's move it back. And start to get these kind of lined up with the natural teeth. There we go. We're starting to get there, I'd say. Get the midlines lined up pretty well. Don't worry about the fact that it's not rounded properly. First, I just want to get the tooth size dialed in, or close. I can always edit it, revise it as I'm moving, but for now, let's get it pretty darn close. And I like to make them a little extra big. I want them to overlap those canines because well, I just don't want any diastemas. Any diastemas. So let's go just a touch bigger, and let's slide it over just a little bit because, well, yeah, we're off-centered anyways, so I can tell that there was a little more of a diastema going to be remaining distal to the upper left lateral, and we're in contact over there. So yeah, let's roll with this. Let's see what we can do. All right, so now we've moved the teeth in general to where they should be, sort of the incisal edges in a sense. And so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm come over here to mark visible teeth for tooth chain. Or I'm sorry, I need to show height tooth chain. That's what I want to do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lock these teeth over here so that I can sort of grab a hold of these teeth and bring them around a little bit. Okay, I'm just holding the shift button and it allows me to manipulate that. And so now I'm going to unlock these teeth and bring these in a little bit. So now I'm starting to get the overall curve, if you will. Now I want to just move this tooth, rotate this one a little bit. Move this one a little bit. I know I opened up the diastema, that I can close that either by moving them around until it's closed right, or I can just turn that chain back on and it will kind of suck the teeth back together. Like, let's say, show height. Well, they're already in contact. So anyway, so we can do that. But at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just start manipulating teeth individually. Not certain that I love these teeth shapes for this patient, but it's pretty close to what I want. Again, I want those contacts to be touching and kind of really overlapping fairly significantly. And I'm going to go ahead and just stretch this now. There we go. Bring it down a touch maybe. And a smidgen of length to it, not much. And we've got more tools to really mess with these teeth if we want to. We can go in the crown and bridge it module, and then we can, really mess with them. So now I've just opened up that diastema. I have to close that down. Don't love how much that stretched that tooth, so I'm going to open this back up here, which then tells me I kind of need to walk things around a little bit, if that makes sense. Make that a little bit wider now. There we go. And it happens to be that's lining up with the midline. I think there's a slight midline shift, so I think that we can probably do that and give us nice symmetry. Hopefully I'm not messing with I'm only skewing it by 1/4 to 1/2 millimeter. Hopefully that won't even be obvious in the face, and yet it'll give us symmetry of two sides, or decent symmetry. I did make this one a touch wider, and I've already got contact there. So that's and you could stop right there, honestly. You can see there's contact right there. That's pretty darn minimal. I can edit that. I fix that by turning this a little bit. I could scale it in lingually, but I think that's actually good. Yes, I've got contact here and here. That's not a big deal to me. Honestly, in my mind, on a simple case like this, I don't even worry about editing the model. You can. I don't even worry about it because I'm going to adjust the occlusion anyways in the mouth to get the guidance in there and whatnot. So I'm not really too stressed about that right here. This is just a quick little small mock-up. All right. And yeah, so I mean, this tooth is sticking through here, and what are your options? I mean, we can just accept what I've got here, or you can bulk them out a bit more. But I think that bulking them out to cover that is, I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, so now we've got them generally in the right positions that we want them. From this view, I kind of feel like I could tip this in a little bit more. And the same thing with this lateral. Let's tip this one in a little more. Centrals, kind of like where they're at, but maybe just a little bit. And heck, that's actually, I won't even tick those in. I won't even address the buckle lingual. I'll just keep the tilt because that's given us more, less that we have to shave off here or whatnot. So yeah, I think I'm liking this for the most part. I'm pretty good with the general, denture teeth positioning, if you will. You could just go ahead and, there's lots of, you can do whatever you want here. You could say, all right, I'm done, and just use this. So at this point, we can go ahead and we could stop here, or we can go ahead and switch over to the Crown Bridge module, which I can't even, there it is. I had a little recording screen right here. I can't really edit. So we're going to go ahead and click on this guy, and we're going to manipulate this model. Manipulate visible teeth. And this is going to allow me to start, come on. Alright, I'm going to use the global transform, and that's going to allow me to kind of skew this tooth. I can either use this, or I can, this guy actually is what I want to use. I gotta use the shift button, because I don't like the, the overall shape here, but this will allow me to kind of tuck things back a little bit and try to fall within that gingival margin. I'll address any sort of like concavity there in just a minute, but first I find it easiest, best to kind of bulk things out first, get things where we want them in general. And let's go ahead and right click toggle transparency, and that way I can now kind of see through what I'm doing. And just keep bringing things out to the gingival margin, and ideally no more than that. And yeah, I think we're looking pretty good there. If I want, I can see about bring this out a little bit. I don't want to like make it lumpy, if you will, but yeah, that word lumpy. Anybody else that word remind them immediately of the movie Twins? Sorry, random reference there. So I'm going to smooth this down. Now you can kind of mess. I don't love the visual here because I don't like how much is really being affected. It's really kind of I don't know. I can't tell. So let's just go ahead and see what it does here. Yeah, it's not bad. It just isn't obvious in how much it's going to affect, which kind of does bother me a little bit in this software because I don't see it as clearly as many other softwares, but it is doing what I want it to do. So yeah. All right. I mean, it's not extending too much. All right, so let's go ahead and toggle the transparency back, and I think we're looking pretty darn good here for a quick and dirty mock-up, if you will. Right in here, I kind of want to add a little bit right here. I feel like right here, this should be more convex. So let's bulk this out just a little bit. These are the type of things that you're going to do. I mean, you can print this model, then you can revise the model before you make your thermoform tray that you're going to do the suck down with, or whatever PVS. You can revise the anatomy on the actual printed model, or you could just do this in the mouth and then adjust from there. And I certainly recommend the latter as far as you're going to do that eventually, but yeah, so one thing I am noticing is that I think there's too much of this tooth sticking out of here, which means I do need to make this tooth a bit smaller in the distal because it's just not gonna look right in the mouth. So what I'm going to do, I guess I'll stick with this, but I'm going to dial this size up a little bit so I can really grab a hold. Actually, you know what? There we go. I'm going to tuck this in just a bit until I can, well, actually, no, I'll just do it a lot until I see, okay, so right about there. And then I can go ahead and grab the more gingival aspect of it to broaden it out down there. And now this guy, expand that a bit. I mean, we are working within the confines we have to work with. You know, we got to do the best that we can with what we've got here. All right, so there we go. That's again like what I would call a quick and dirty mock-up. You can adjust things to your liking, but this should be easy to export, 3D print, make a tray, and go from there. Looking at this model for a second, let's go over to the T surfaces right here, and I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to turn everything off. Turn this model back on. We are dealing with a tall embrasure here, or a papilla there, and very little to nothing there. So that is an unfortunate reality of what we're dealing with. That we're going to have the potential to have a nice one here. This might be a bit overbulked, honestly, but I would leave it like that for now. We're going to have, my point being, we're going to have papilla to size discrepancy. That's just how it goes. But at this point, you know, you could injection mold this and then, you know, refine it in the mouth. I think that's what this individual was planning to do, and so hopefully she now has, you know, what she needs to make that happen. So how do we get this actually printable? We can go ahead and switch back over to the model editing module, model master, I guess that's what it's now called. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the opposing. Don't need that. And I'm going to go over to Model Edit. If you can't find these panels, up in here under the panel list, you'll find it. Okay. And so I'm just going to, first of all, you can trim this to your liking. It's not a bad idea. There's, you know, a fair amount of kind of erroneous junk, erroneous junk. And so let me just go ahead and use this selection brush. Sorry about that. I am just ordered pizza, and I'm not recording this in my software. I usually do a bunch of video editing, so you're just gonna have to deal with that temporarily. I'm sorry. I don't have time right now to do a bunch of post processing, so I hope you're okay with that. So I'm just kind of creating a trim line essentially. I'm hoping that soon the trim line that we have within the ortho software will get ported over to this, because it just makes it easier in a sense. So let's go ahead and cut that selected area, and then we'll continue doing that right through here. I don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, I do have an idea, and it won't be for a while, is my idea, my suspicion, but it will come, and I think everyone will be happy to have that when it's there. So in the meantime, we'll just be patient, which we dentists are just so good at. There we go. And so now I'm going to double click and sorry, I'm so used to hitting this. Oh, sorry. I'm used to just like inverting the selection in the mesh mixer, but we can't do that here. I forget. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to come over to the surfaces module, and I'm going to click on this guy, and I'm going to isolate. And then the part that I want to keep, click on here, and everything else should get deleted. All right. So now we're going to go back to Model Edit, and so now we have a trimmed up model, and we can just go ahead and say, actually, sorry, Model Manipulation. We're going to close the model. You can do a hollow model if you want. I'm not going to. But let's get a base, a good model with a good base on it. That way we can export it with these teeth, and we're off to the races. All right, so there's the model. There's the opposing, and we can dial that transparency off, and there you go. Okie doke, hopefully this video was helpful. Again, I apologize for that little step away for a moment. I could have just kept talking. I'm using my Bluetooth headset, which is why my audio is kind of echoey loud. I apologize, but sorry. Just a quick movie off the cuff, or video off the cuff. Anyway, if you like these videos, make sure you subscribe, like and subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the notifications. That way you can find out when I do post more videos. All right, y'all. You guys have a great day. Bye for now. Well, you guys are lucky. Now you have to edit this video. I wasn't planning to edit it before because I'm using simple software, but I need to edit because I need to add these two videos together. What I forgot to do is tell you how to get these files out. You need to come up here to File, go to Export Data, and then what it's going to do is anything that's checked is going to get exported. So we don't need the lower jaw. We do want this, and then we want these. Now, one thing that's important is down here is export separated files to a folder or not. You don't want it in here. Right now, you want it as one STL. So click Export, determine where you want it to go, and you should be good to go. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.